What is up everyone, my name's Al from GameStrip, and today we're going to be taking a look at... That was pretty quick, wasn't it? I really could have knocked someone out and probably hurt them then. But today we're going to be playing Final Fight Apocalypse for the Sega Dreamcast. It's a Beats of Rage game working specifically on the Sega Dreamcast today. So, you know, we've seen some decent Final Fight Beats of Rage games in the past. Some really decent ones. For example, Hyper Final Fight 3, which was absolutely fantastic. But this leads me on to believe maybe this could be better? I don't know if it'll be better, but will it be as good? Let's find out. Here we go guys, this is it. We are taking a look at another Final Fight title, but this time it's called Final Fight Apocalypse, the second edition. Now I obviously couldn't really tell you why it's called the second edition, unless this is just the better, less buggier version. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, this is it. Final Fight Apocalypse, the second edition, that's right. And, you know, it doesn't really go too far from being any different to another or any other Final Fight game, but is that a bad thing? Absolutely not. Now, with most of these games, you will realise that it's always better to play couch multiplayer. That's right. Or I guess this is co-op. This is co-op because you're not basically beating the crap out of each other. You're working together. So you'll be happy to know this is for players. Now, the players you can obviously have are Hagar, Cody, Guy, and Scorp. Scorp, obviously, from Saturday Night Slam Masters. So I'm not really massively familiar with Scorp, but I got to tell you, actually a pretty decent character. But as you can see, I started as my guy, Cody himself. That's right. And as you can see, yeah, this is a very solid frame rate from the get-go. Some of these Beats of Rage games, they just, you know, they just don't feel smooth and they just don't feel solid. But I think as the time progresses and as we move on, and with certain, you know, the Dream Bore engine, which is obviously thanks to Ian Michael, we're getting some solid frame rates here, and it does make it that much more enjoyable. Now, as already advised, you're not going to really notice this to be really any different than any other Final Fight game. It's just another edition, and, you know, some of the characters or the enemies are slightly different than you'd see in the other Final Fight games, although they also do reappear from other Final Fight games. This is just a nice, decent addition to the Final Fight library, which is fantastic. Who doesn't want more Final Fight? I certainly do. I mean, to be fair, I only really, massively discovered Final Fight in the last couple of years, which is, you know, strange, because that one never really hit my radar. I was nearly always a Streets of Rage kind of guy, don't get me wrong. Streets of Rage 4 is absolutely fantastic. Maybe it's time for another Final Fight. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink out there. But yeah, that's right. I'm absolutely loving the Final Fight titles, and this one is another great addition to the library. Now, it is really pretty much rinse and repeat here as always. It's go through the levels and then get to a boss. The boss is always the hardest part of those levels. I mean, what I will say is they're not too hard to the point where it's hard to really get into. But they are hard. They do have a bigger life bar, which you have to basically smack them around a few times, and then they will die. And to be fair, they've got to be the main objective here, because the thing is, even though you're taking out the smaller characters around them, they are basically just cannon fodder. They will keep appearing. So your main aim is to hit the boss. Once you kill the boss, that is when you win the round. The game plays massively well with the Sega Dreamcast controller, as it really should with the D-pad. The Dreamcast D-pad really is where it's at when it comes to these Beats of Rage titles. It really does make them shine. And yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a real solid title with a real solid soundtrack, as you can hear. And to boot, the sound effects are just as decent. So is there really any downside to this at all? Not really. This really is a solid Final Fight title, and one I think you're probably all going to want to check out. And obviously download yourselves to really see what I'm talking about. Now, at the end of the day, Cody, for me, is the best character. I just think he's got a better range of motion. Hagar, or Hagar, however you say it, he's pretty decent. He's very, very powerful, and he'll basically destroy the crap out of everything. I just don't like his moveset. I've never really loved the whole sort of wrestler moveset. I mean, it works well. The specials look pretty cool. But for me, Cody is the winner here. Now, what I will say is, like I said, go and download it, because it is absolutely fantastic. And one you're going to want to add to your Dreamcast collection. Like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you all soon. You can now support the channel on patreon.com/GamesRip, as well as remember to like, comment and subscribe.